Grunge became a noun. It seemed a way to pigeonhole a bunch of bands.
Along the way, somebody decided to call it grunge.
What is grunge? Does it involve a flannel shirt?
Welcome to the grunge.
Hey, Jerry, it's my line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we'd harmonize.
Welcome to the grunge. We are a podcast exploring the big four of the Seattle Sound. We talk about bands like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Nirvana, and today's subject, Alice in Chains. Welcome, everyone. I am Joseph Rose.
And I'm your co-host, Jerry Wood.
Jerry, how you doing?
I'm good. Tired.
I really wanted to display a professional introduction to the show today.
Today is that.
I wanted to make sure I was calm and settled in and focused and deliver the introductory information to the people the way I'm supposed to do it. Mm-hmm. How was that?
That was great. This has got a very XPN type vibe right now.
All right.
I like it.
We're halfway to a Nightbird right now.
Yeah, very calm, very subdued. There's nothing too loud. We're getting through it.
This album today, Jerry, I'm already pumped the fuck up.
I'm real pumped. This is the best album we'll ever cover.
Well, that is tough.
This was the beginning.
At a certain point, I love albums so much. There are this, bunch of a good handful of albums in the world that I just love so fucking much. There's almost no point in discussing, is this one better than this one, better than this one? It's like, I don't want to live one day on this earth without any of them.
Right.
Like, I need Alice in Chains' Dirt album in my life.
Yeah.
I need Super Unknown. Okay? I need Versus. I need these fucking albums.
I definitely need Bleach.
You do?
I need
Do you, Jerry? You need the second half of Bleach.
No,
you don't.
That can fall off the face of the earth. I'm good with that. I need the first 4 songs.
Let's not focus on anything negative today. This is an incredible album. Really. This album, what the fuck can you say about it? You love this one, right?
I do. This is the one that grabbed me.
This was your first, sort of real-time entry into the grunge scene.
Era, the grunge scene. I mean, my dad had some Soundgarden, as we talked about that. They randomly just popped up, but this was the one I found. And perusing through the whole, sometimes you scan through,
Sure.
It's just every song is so deep, so dark. This was a heavier album than I remembered it too. Yeah. It just spoke to me.
It is dark as fuck.
Dark as fuck.
I mean, this album is wild.
And it's the one I actually read about before I ever got into this.
Oh, yeah?
Thing. So there's some tidbits. I remember Angry Chair being like Lane's song, that was something he wrote. But yeah, I don't think there's one bad song on this album. Even like the only thing that came out of this that's bad is the band's Godsmack.
Yeah, fuck that.
And
band.
then Godsmack just completely jacked everything that these guys did. Obviously.
We can't waste even a moment talking about them.
Okay, stop it.
Let's pretend that.
That's the only bad thing that came out of this album was the name of that band. But dude, this I was pumped about this one. It's almost like we don't even have to do it. We should just end it. Say like this was great.
All right. Well, we won't then.
You
guys,
listen to it. Go download it.
Thank you for joining us. You go listen to Dirt on your own time. Okay? Bye. Every time we start a show, we want to end it.
Yeah, right. We realize that it didn't start off the right way. I think this one started off great. We started right with the album, which is what people want. People want us to do that.
People want us to do that?
People want us to just jump right into the album. It's sort of frustrating.
You're making this up.
It's sort of frustrating for some cats. They have to be like, oh, grunge music. I can't wait. What are they going to talk about? And then we talk about
sex,
skydiving, and that's not just you. Skydiving, car sales, coffee, cannabis, and then once you get through the first 40 minutes, you'll get to the album. We'll get there.
Yeah, well, there's a fast forward button for the squares that don't want to listen to our talk. You know what I mean?
I do it all the time for commercials, which we don't have. So there's no reason to fast forward this. We don't have commercials.
We don't have any commercials yet. Yeah, I'd prefer, honestly, that we never have commercials. Financially, if an offer came along that was, so good that it was worth it somehow, the trade-off seemed to make sense.
$15 is all I need, and I will sit there and talk about dick pills all day.
I don't know about that.
Blue Chew.
I would like an extra $15, but I don't think I would take $15 to fucking put an ad in the show.
Right in the middle of it, there being a erectile dysfunction pill.
Right.
This Blue Chew is everywhere.
You're doing the ad right now,
Doing
and
it
they haven't
Blue
given
Chew.
us any money.
I'm a 42-year-old man, and I need Blue Chew.
What's up with your boner, Jerry? Since you brought us here, you're 42 years old. You having any boner issues? You've also described you had sexual issues because of your weight and your general physical health.
Yeah.
Did that affect your boner?
No.
Because it surely could. It'd be reasonable to assume that it might.
But to go along this vein, apparently every 10 pounds you're overweight, you do lose length. The pad takes over.
Yeah. Sure. I guess you don't. Yeah.
The pubis.
Effectively, maybe you lose length, or at least visually.
It's there. Visually,
yeah,
it's there.
you're
Visually,
losing
it's there.
length.
But like for every 10 pounds.
Right.
I was like, wow. It's not like you gain like an inch every 10 pounds. That'd be great. So I lost 25 pounds. I'm like, great. No, I'm still not hurting women.
Same old wiener.
Same old diminutive wiener.
We call him Lil Jerry.
Little Jerry.
Little Jerry.
Little Jerry. But yeah, it's a good time, man.
Cool. All right.
Everything's working out as it should be. Everything's going to plan.
Now, if you manage to muster one boner a month, you're good. You only really need to get
with the
one.
help of Blue Chew.
All right.
I can do that anytime I want, and you can eat it on an empty stomach too.
What else is new, Jerry? What have you been up to lately? Nothing. This last week here.
No, we haven't done anything. The East Coast was battered by Isaiah. I mean, there's a word. What's that? What do they call it?
I don't watch that shit on the news. I don't know. We had a storm. I know that.
It has a name. It's Isaiah.
Isaiah? Are you saying Isaiah?
It's not Isaiah. It's Isaiah or something like that.
Isaiah.
Something like that.
Right.
I would like to say it's Isaiah. That's what I thought it was. But it battered the East Coast. Our basement. Everyone's basement is flooded. Everyone's basement's flooded. That's what I've been dealing with.
It's just a universal. Everyone's basement is flooded.
Well, everyone's basement. If you're California, it's on fire.
Right.
So it's like one or the other. The coasts have different problems. Ours is water, the biblical cleanser, and theirs is fire. You know, that's what it is.
The biblical cleanser.
The fire is supposed to be the biblical cleanser. I got it reversed. So
Well, what about floods? There was the great floods.
There was the flood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ark.
Yeah.
They built an ark.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You know, there was two of every species.
I'm talking Kentucky built a physical ark. I don't know about that other shit. About shoving a bunch of different animals into a boat.
Yeah, they had two of everything.
Yeah, that's
They had
that's
two
something.
humans. They had two tigers.
Yep,
They
all
had two
praise.
dinosaurs. Because humans and dinosaurs lived at the same time.
I don't think they believe in that.
I think they do.
Nah, I see a lot of anti-dinosaur Christian sites.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that think the Earth is 6,000 years old based on the Bible. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Hey, let's not get into it.
Yeah, let's not get into
Wow, we're going to talk about should we? I feel like I'm so excited about this album.
You had some viewer feedback that you won't tell me about.
Oh, should I get to viewer feedback?
I don't know.
Maybe I should take a moment to let everybody know our website is thegrungepodcast.com. It would be great if you would go to our website. On there, you'll find links to all of our various social media platforms. We're active on Instagram, Facebook, and Jerry is active on the Twitter.
Very active on the Twitter. YouTube is taking off.
YouTube, there is a link to our YouTube channel where we put basically every episode up on YouTube in video form. You could see us in the flesh.
Touch us. See us, understand us, then we'll have a physical form of us. Then you
probably can't understand us.
Then you can fantasize.
You can fantasize. And I would like it if you would.
And me too. Actually, I'm gonna drop this whole act of being reserved and say I want you to think of me on top of you.
Whoa,
That's right.
Now, Jerry, you went
right. That's right.
Inappropriate and explicit. There's a line, and you just crossed it, Jerry.
Not at all.
Oh boy,
get into it.
Okay,
I'll get into you.
Well, everybody, I'm sorry that you just had to hear that.
I'm just waking up too, so there's good God, Wawa coffee, Blue Chew, and Wawa coffee.
All right, Jerry's having a morning.
And if you want to refinance your home, refinance with Save with Conrad.
Are you just
Conrad's?
Are you giving ads to your friends or something?
I am trying just to get her name out there. Look what we can do. These are power players in the podcast community, except for Wawa. Blue Chew, Save with Conrad.
I've never heard of this in my life.
What's that? There's another one. the one that does websites. We'll talk about that when we get the contract.
I built our website.
Yeah, but
I don't need anybody else.
We can do it better.
No, we can't. It's as good as it gets. All right. Anyway, guys, you can find links to all the social media, including the YouTube channel,
where we do interviews and stuff like that. Very cool stuff.
You can find a link to our Patreon channel. We do bonus episodes every single week on the Patreon channel. We have a couple of tiers. There are some added benefits that you can get in on. They're still maybe a little bit in flux. We're tweaking. We're trying to perfect it to make everyone happy. And
scheduling's a rough go.
And we're gonna nail it all down. But yeah,
I'm gonna call all of you today.
Our Patreon channel is exciting. We have a lot of fun bonus episodes that we do all the time. Mm-hmm. The best episodes, frankly.
Yes,
those are the good episodes.
Those are the ones where you can let your hair down. Not this. We can't let our hair down. Today's episode is going to shatter all that shit. It's going to make it all better.
It's a great album.
It's going to be better. I thank God that we're going to replace 10 as
don't
the
get
album.
off track here, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Guys,
let's do this.
Anyway, that was the website. We like it quite a bit when you send us in emails or messages on whatever platform you want to use. Mm-hmm. Let us know how you're enjoying the show. Give us some suggestions. We are still taking submissions. We would like you to send in a picture of some sort of a painting or a statue. I think statues have been popular.
Very.
You send in a statue, a photo of a naked statue.
It doesn't have to be naked.
And Jerry will recreate that with a photograph.
It doesn't have to be naked.
I mean, let's face it. It needs to be naked. No, I'm not accepting that shit if it's not naked.
Well, the one I'm doing isn't naked. The one was given to me by a viewer, was a listener.
We haven't gotten to that yet, Jerry, but thank you for that spoiler.
Well, there's one I'm doing, so that'll come up. That'll be on Twitter very soon.
All right, guys. We do have a few messages here. Should I get into a couple messages? We've got a couple here. Our patron, Bill Stowers. He had some feelings, Jerry. He wrote us 2 messages, okay?
I'm not in the
that
right,
focus on one primary topic. We're going to get into it.
I'm not in the right headspace for this.
This is a message from Bill. I'm going to read the first message. So, just curious, why do you hate the Smashing Pumpkins so much?
Oh, no.
To each their own, I get it. But to me personally, they are one of the most unique and fundamental bands of the whole decade. Very distinct and unique sound that I don't think will ever be recreated. Also, the masters of setting a mood with their albums. Okay? Now, before I respond, perhaps I should go right ahead to Bill's second message that he sent later in the day.
The complete picture is necessary.
Right. Bill, once again, his second message. Love you guys, but man, you're pissing me off with your hate on the Pumpkins at the end of the Singles soundtrack. You guys need to actually give them a deep dive. Pearl Jam is my other favorite band, and SP is every bit up there with them in terms of a prolific catalog. If you need help getting over your bullshit with them, let me know. Still love you guys and the podcast, but your Pumpkins hate can fuck off. Wow. P.S. Drown was only released on the Singles soundtrack until a much shorter version was released on their Greatest Hits album. They essentially took off the distortion at the end that you bitched so much about.
They did. When one of our Twitter followers told me about that, and I was like, "That's probably a better song."
Of course, it's a better song.
I don't hate the Smashing Pumpkins.
I want somebody to, Bill. Maybe you're a giant. I'm going to get into all of Bill's questions here, and I'm gonna clarify. But Bill, as a Smashing Pumpkins fan, I would like for you to compare, or really, this is an exercise for anyone out there, particularly if you do love the Smashing Pumpkins. Compare the full, longer version of that song to the edited 4-minute version. And tell me specifically, what is the artistic merit of the extra 3 minutes of annoying feedback? Tell me what that does, because it was over my head. I didn't get it. It didn't set a good mood for me. It didn't punctuate any of the lyrics. It didn't display a level of skill. It didn't do anything except make an annoying sound for way too fucking long.
I think it was just there to ride out. At the time, they might have been feeling it, and then they put it on the whole thing. Also, a great way to end a soundtrack. I mean,
it's a terrible way.
That soundtrack was great all the way, and then that last 3 minutes. But like, if you just want to talk about how a movie or credits end and stuff like that, talk cinematically, it might make sense to have a long, droning basically what sounds like a train breaking, all for like 4 or 5 minutes. It was it wasn't the Pumpkin song. I had no problem with that. It was the 4 minutes that we had. And
the song had a nice vibe.
You can't defend it. There's no defending that. There's no defending.
It's a poor choice.
That 4 minutes of feedback.
Yeah, it was just poor. Now, to Bill's larger point, I don't hate the Smashing Pumpkins.
I do not either. A lot of good memories of them.
I wouldn't call myself a Smashing Pumpkins fan because I listen to no Smashing Pumpkins albums. If they were to come to town on tour, I would not be interested to go. So I can't say I'm a fan, but on a very casual level, I'm a fan. There's a good handful of Smashing Pumpkins songs that I enjoy.
Every girl I ever dated.
What are they? I don't know. What do I like? 1979 is a nice little song. Mm-hmm. It can get a little boring, but I like the vibe. Bullet with Butterfly Wings. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan.
Right.
What was some of the older shit on Siamese Dream?
They did a song on
Today.
Batman.
That was a popular one.
That. Today was the greatest.
Yeah, I like that.
The song in the end, the world is the end, or something like that in Batman. I just remember liking that song a lot. That was a Batman song though.
So
I mean, there's a bunch of songs.
They have some vibes that I like.
If you listen to an album, you recognize a bunch of songs.
What is the popular one?
What I choose is
Disarm.
my choice.
What is that? A song? Disarm.
I could look it on. I could look at my phone.
The one, the killer in you.
The killer in you. Yeah, I know that one.
That one, I like that song. That's an interesting song.
We're not killing the Pumpkins, and it's just not our cup of tea. Especially when you just sit there and you put an instrument down and record it. You kick it once and you let it ring on for 15 minutes and then it goes away. Listen, Bill, I am on board. There are a bunch of bands I talk about on this podcast that don't get a lot of props. That's fine. Smashing Pumpkins' one effort on this show was poor.
It was bad.
It was not good.
And I don't. I'd have to go back and listen to the episode, but I think during that song, I remember making a comment that was positive about the vibe of the song. I was enjoying the general vibe that they were going with. It was groovy. It was kind of chilling. I like that. But they,
But that is...
It was poorly constructed.
We have to we'll probably at one point do a Smashing Pumpkins album.
Oh, yeah.
We have to.
I think they're on our list, right?
I
don't know when.
They're a huge
maybe
part
they're in
of
93.
Yeah, they're a huge part of that era. I mean, you remember seeing them in today with the was it the ice cream truck and all that?
Yeah,
really great video. Good times.
Yeah,
back when Billy had hair.
Yeah,
and how long ago was that? Jesus,
long time since he's had hair. But yeah, I don't hate them. No, I don't.
Not at all.
I hate anytime they want to make several minutes of feedback. They can fuck off with that. Fuck that.
There's plenty of other bands that do that a lot better.
Yeah. So all right, yeah, I mean,
that's not bad.
Yeah, I know my drummer Julie has expressed interest. She said something to me that Smashing Pumpkins to her is kind of like Pearl Jam to me, So
think about that. Think about being 4 years younger than you are now.
Yeah.
And when you're growing up, the Pumpkins, they're playful. They came out with their thing, and then they got real serious. And there is what is that double albums? Like, wasn't that an opera of sorts?
Melancholy
and the Infinite Sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal. They structured that album to tell a story, so it is. They have their romance. It's not my cup of tea. Who knows?
I'm willing to get into it.
When we listen to it,
I don't think I've ever listened to a whole Smashing Pumpkins album.
I have. It's only because a lot of the girls I dated back in the day loved that band.
You dated a lot of girls, huh?
A couple, and they all like Smashing Pumpkins. I didn't date a lot, but enough that I had to listen to Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah. All right.
A lot of music I had to listen to. So I became fans of Sneaker Pimps and Morchiba. That's it. Those are just girls. I wouldn't have picked that up.
Why?
Because I was listening to the RoboCop soundtrack. That shit's banging.
All right. And we got another message. I passed it along to you. Our fantastic patron, Hassie Way.
Mm-hmm. Hashay.
Powerful.
Hashay.
Powerful Hassie Way.
Hashay.
She sent in a fantastic image of a statue for you to recreate with your nude little body.
It won't be nude because the statue's not nude.
Well, he does have a little bit of a covering on the
lap.
Yeah,
has a little blanket over top of him, like he's watching his TV and he's got TV dinner going. He'll be waiting for the food.
So we can expect to see that soon.
Probably the next day. The next day, next 2 days. I got you.
All right.
It'll be set up differently. I'll be sitting on a toilet. It'll be just a naked man on a toilet.
All right.
On Twitter at the Grunge Pod.
Well, it'll be everywhere. Many times.
Don't do that.
Thank you very much, Bill, for your feedback.
And look forward to a.
Don't be so aggressive, Bill.
No. Be as aggressive. Be aggressive.
We're just trying to live our lives over here, man. We love you. We love you. We're going to get into Smashing Pumpkins. We will do it. Mm-hmm. We're going to do it. What's next? Probably Siamese Dream? I don't know.
Something.
Whatever album is next, we're going to do it.
Listen, we're listening to that guy whine for an hour. I got you.
All right. Hassie Way, thank you.
Thank you for
very
the input.
much.
You will be seeing your efforts will be reaping rewards very soon.
That was a beautiful choice of a statue.
It was, though.
Jerry, I guess we're getting ready to get into this situation with this album.
One day, another one of those albums I don't want to talk over. Just want to vibe out.
Well, we're going to talk about it.
We have to talk.
We're going to talk over the whole thing. Shall I get into the facts, of which I've got 17 pages of information.
Jesus Christ! Just
all right.
Put it.
We'll get into it and we'll see how we feel. Okay. Here's the basics for all you guys. Dirt. It is the second studio album by Alice in Chains. It was released on September 29th, 1992 through Columbia Records. Peaking at number 6 on the Billboard 200 chart, the album was also well received by music critics. It has since been certified 4 times platinum by the RIAA and gone on to sell 5 million copies worldwide, making Dirt the band's highest selling album to date. It is the band's last album recorded with all 4 original members, as bassist Mike Starr was fired from the band in January of 1993. The album spawned no less than 5 singles: Wood, Them Bones, Angry Chair, Rooster, and Down in a Hole, all with accompanying music videos. Dirt was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Performance.
Who won?
I don't know, Jerry. That would be nice information for you to have provided.
I'm going to provide it.
The songs on the album focused on depression, pain, anger, antisocial behavior, relationships, drug addiction, primarily heroin, war, death, and other emotionally charged topics. The track Iron Gland features Tom Araya from Slayer on vocals. Most of the music from the album was written by guitarist Jerry Cantrell, but for the first time, vocalist Lane Staley wrote 2 songs by himself, Hate to Feel and Angry Chair. Both also feature Staley on guitar. Rolling Stone listed this album at number 26 on its list of the 100 greatest metal albums of all time. Dirt was included in the 2005 book, 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. It was voted Kerrang! Critics' Choice Album of the Year. Guitar World named Dirt the best guitar album of 1992. Loudwire named it as one of the best metal albums of the 1990s. And Rolling Stone ranked it at number 6 on its list of 50 greatest grunge albums in 2019. What do you got there, Jared? Did you come up with some information?
Give It Away by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Really?
Beat out Alice in Chains. That doesn't make sense. Though.
Are you sure?
Best hard rock performance or best hard rock album?
Oh, yeah, best hard rock performance.
Best hard rock performance went to Give It Away.
All right.
That doesn't make sense.
I mean,
I thought that came out way earlier.
it's valid. I mean, I obviously would never make that choice. I think Dirt wins
Hands down every
by
time.
a landslide, but I get it. You know, Give It Away was very popular. It's a fun song, you know.
It is. It's the first, again, another one of those. I think I said it before. They up the crotch shots. Remember Anthony Kiedis, and then the camera's
A lot of
looking
crotch.
right up at you.
Yeah, David Lee Roth was good for some of those.
Oh no, any moment, any chance you can get.
Yeah.
You know Flea though. Flea,
What about him?
what a fun guy. What every time I see him in a video, it looks
Incredible
like I
bass
want
player.
to hang out with Flea.
He's a legit bass player.
Yeah, I no doubt he's been around forever,
Yeah.
and it just looks like some dude you can have a beer with. I think he's sober now. You probably don't. Don't want
The recording of Dirt began in the spring of 1992. Producer Dave Jordan, who had previously worked with the band on their debut album Facelift, wanted to work with them again. He admired vocalist Lane Staley's lyrics and voice and lead guitarist Jerry Cantrell's guitar riffs. Dirt was recorded during the Los Angeles riots that erupted following the acquittal of 4 LAPD officers caught on camera beating an unarmed black motorist, Rodney King.
Yep.
The riots started on the first day of recording. The band was watching TV when the verdict for the incident was announced. Jerry Cantrell was in a store buying some beer when a man came in and started looting the place. Cantrell also got stuck in traffic and saw people pulling each other out of their cars and beating them. The band tried to get out of town following tried to get out of town without getting hurt while LA was protesting. They took Slayer vocalist Tom Araya with them and went to the Joshua Tree Desert for 4 or 5 days until things calmed down, and then moved back into the studio and started recording the album.
Running to the desert.
Yes.
That has to be horrifying.
I
The LA riots
they
were-
had a
were-
great time in that
Ooh,
desert.
Oh, well, the desert, yeah. But like getting out of a city that's going nuts. I mean, we had a little taste of that maybe a month or two ago, but nothing. That's such unrest, and it was necessary. It was absolutely valid. It just, man.
Shall I go on?
Yeah,
or
if
have
you
we
want
had
to.
enough?
You can keep going if you want.
All right, let's see what we got. With songs written primarily on the road, the material is darker than Facelift.
Yes.
We did a lot of soul searching on this album. There's a lot of intense feelings, Cantrell said. We deal with our daily demons through music. All of the poison that builds up during the day, we cleanse when we play. Drug use was front and center as a lyrical theme on the album. 3 tracks, Sick Man, Junkhead, and Godsmack, specifically reference heroin use and its effects. Staley...
Lane being the main, that you knew about his addiction.
For sure. Jerry was right in there as well.
Jerry also with heroin.
Mike Starr also. And I know that Mike Starr and drummer Sean Kinney were dealing with some alcoholism as well.
Okay.
But yeah, everybody was in it.
on it.
Everybody was in something.
Everyone's riding the dragon.
Staley revealed that the album is semi-conceptual
Chasing the dragon.
and that there are 2 basic themes in it. The first theme is about, quote, dealing with kind of a personal anguish and turmoil, which turns into drugs to ease that pain, and being confident that that was the answer in a way. Then later on, the songs start to slip down closer and closer to hell, and then he figures out that drugs were not and are not the way to ease that pain. Basically, it's the whole story of the last 3 years of my life, Staley described, and the other theme as being about painful relationships.
Not a lot of fun. There's
No.
nothing on this is like, hey, you're going to the beach. This isn't a beach album.
No, not a fun album. Nope. Jerry Cantrell said in 2013, that darkness was always part of the band, but it wasn't all about that. There was always an optimism, even in the darkest shit we wrote. With Dirt, it's not like we were saying, oh yeah, this is a good thing. It was more of a warning than anything else. Rather than, hey, come and check this out, it's great. We were talking about what was going on at the time, but within that there was always a survivor element, a kind of triumph over the darker elements of being a human being. I still think we have all that intact, but maybe the percentage has shifted.
Definitely, because nothing was like this ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, this one was all guitar. I thought this was a metal band. It didn't have this grunge thing attached to it to me. It just felt like a metal band.
Yeah. Now, obviously, there's a bunch more, and there's
Yeah, I
a
know.
bunch more stuff that goes into just specific things about each of the songs or a bunch of them. So maybe as we listen, I'll dig in here
Right.
and pull up some of the anecdotes about the album. But I wanted to say recently during, not so recently, I guess a few months back, during one of my record club celebrations that I have, we were celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first Black Sabbath album.
Mm-hmm.
And that night we listened to the first 2 Sabbath albums and then a little more. But it was particularly during the second album, Paranoid. I was listening to that album. And, we already know this. Of course, Alice in Chains is heavily influenced by Black Sabbath. But it was during that listen through Paranoid that night, for some reason, that it stood out to me so clearly how influenced Alice in Chains was by that early Black Sabbath. Like, this Paranoid was like a prototype of the Dirt album. It was fascinating. It was, for some reason, in my cannabis-induced haze that night, the love and wonder I was feeling for the music, that became so clear. I was like, wow, we hadn't even listened to Alice in Chains, but the similarity, the influence was striking, which is great. Not in a way, I'm in no way suggesting that they're derivative. I think Alice in Chains is an incredible original band, but the Black Sabbath influence runs deep.
It's hard to ignore. I mean, you hear Black Sabbath did it first like that,
Yeah.
And every band after the fact, they have a Sabbath type influence, and it doesn't take a lot to get labeled that. It just doesn't. You have like a moody beginning, and then you just go ballistic, and then back to mood. It's hard to say you're not a Sabbath fan.
Shall we do it?
I think you should just jump right in,
Guys.
You know what's funny? We put a lot of reverence into this one. As
I love this fucking
We're
album.
talking. And this is probably the most serious we've ever been about. This is music. This is a music podcast.
You can't shit on this album.
No.
I will have probably very few negative things to say about this or criticism.
And there's only like maybe one.
Like, I love this fucking album so much. Let's do it.
Let's jump in.
Track number 1, Them Bones.
Coming in hot.
Hey, guys, listen. YouTube sucks. And sometimes they will block parts of our video and cause the video to need to be ended prematurely, like just happened right here. So we're here to tell you that it's not our fault. YouTube is screwing you over. We're sorry about that on their behalf. If you want to hear the rest of this episode, which was great and hilarious and informative,
yes, educational,
and really a transformative experience for you.
It lights up what is usually your dark and dim life.
Right.
And
If
I'm
you
glad
want
we
to
were here.
have the rest of this episode, YouTube isn't going to let you have it for their money grubbing reasons. So you need to come over to our regular podcast to hear the rest of the episode, which you can do.
Wherever you get your podcast, your favorite podcast from, certainly click on that, and then you'll be able to enjoy the rest of this.
Be sure to visit thegrungepodcast.com, and it will link to, ways to get the podcast and all of our social media and stuff like that.
Right on.
All right. Peace out.